The international community is increasingly losing hope for an end to the conflict in Yemen that has already left thousands killed and devastated the country. This comes as a new front appears to have already opened in Yemen's south, where separatists that once backed the pro-Saudi forces are now fighting for a new state. A serious crack has accordingly emerged inside a multiple-nation alliance led by Saudi Arabia against Houthi Ansarullah fighters. The United Arab Emirates, an important party to the Saudi-led alliance, is backing Yemeni separatists. And that is a clear defiance against Riyadh.
I'm hoping that the armed uprising by the fighters loyal to the United Arab Emirates, which are part of the Saudi coalition, the rebellion of one set of those fighters in the Saudi coalition against the rest of the coalition, is a sign that the Saudi coalition is unraveling and that the pack of thieves that the Saudis put together to wage this illegal war are soon going to be at each other's throats, and the whole war and attack on Yemen dissolved.
There have recently been speculations that the economic profits are now introducing new dimensions to the war in Yemen, where allies are clearly turning to each other. Yemen's southern parts are lined with a string of ports along the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea. Many believe the same ports have provided the incentive for the UAE to come up in support of the separatists. This even if it comes at the cost of rebelling against the Saudi-led alliance. The ability for the UAE to control those ports would widen its access to international waters, thus bringing its expanded economic profits. But this is what the Saudis have also set their eyes on. By any chance, it appears that the world should expect new complexities to emerge in the already chaotic situation in Yemen. Meanwhile, there have been reports that the United States has increased its military attacks on Yemen under President Donald Trump. Recent official data released by the Pentagon shows a six-fold surge in the American air campaign in Yemen last year. And apart from airstrikes, the Pentagon now openly acknowledges that there is already a small intermittent US military presence inside Yemen. This has made some speculate that the UAE and Saudi Arabia are not the only countries that are trying to exploit the resources of Yemen through wars and military strikes.
According to my colleagues in the US peace movement, this illegal war against the people of Yemen is really and truly a US war. According to them, in the command center that runs this war, it's US generals and officers who call the shots and pull the strings. According to them, it's US intelligence that's required to plot the bombing runs, to keep up the blockade, and all the other illegal things that the Saudi coalition is doing. In fact, it's the US that has to find the pilots to pilot the planes that the US has sold to the Saudis to wage this war. It's the US that has to find the planes to refuel the planes that it's sold to the Saudis to make this war. And it's the US forces that have to rescue the pilots that end up in the sea as a result of the resistance of the Yemeni people against this attack. So the US is well and truly deeply involved, up to its neck in the war in Yemen.
The situation in Yemen is set to get more complicated by the day. That in absence of an international resolve to help end the conflict in the country. Chances are that the same states which want to exploit Yemen's natural resources are preventing efforts to end the wars they themselves have started in the country. And with that, the deteriorating devastation of a country where the worst of human catastrophes are already unfolding is as certain as it looked before.